In this world, you either learn to master it, or you will be programmed to obey. It's a harsh truth, perhaps uncomfortable, but if it strikes a chord within you, it's because you've already felt it. The quiet, persistent sensation of always being one step behind. You've been influenced, steered without your awareness, in your relationships, your work, your family. You've been told what to think, how to act, when to stay silent, but no one taught you the real rules, the ones governing power, control, and the intricate depths of human nature. Everything around you is shaped by perception, and in a world where image outweighs intention, where weakness wears the mask of victimhood to dominate, you are faced with a simple choice: ignorance or awakening. His message won't comfort you, it's not meant to. It's not here to please, it's here to reveal what thinkers like Machiavelli had the courage to declare centuries ago. That kindness without strategy is just another form of servitude. Power isn't evil, it's clarity. In the words that follow, you will hear one of the coldest yet most essential truths. Not a hollow promise, but tools. Tools to help you stop playing the pawn and begin seeing through the eyes of a king. The game of power doesn't begin when you learn to manipulate. It begins when you realize you're already being manipulated. From the moment we're born, we learn to cry to get what we want. That was our first move on the board. If you can't recognize that, you've already begun to lose. The key is to awaken, not to harden your heart, but to sharpen your perception. This isn't about distrusting everyone. It's about understanding that no one is entirely innocent. Even the most selfless act can mask a hidden motive. The phrase "I did it for your own good" is often more about control than care. Generosity can become a leash. Gifts can be disguised chains. In this game, perception is everything. The goal isn't paranoia, it's lucidity. The first step is to stop judging the game as good or evil and start seeing it for what it is. If you deny that there's a game happening, you become nothing more than a piece moved by unseen hands. Pay attention to who benefits from your decisions, who profits when you yield. Developing this level of awareness is like forging a blade. Uncomfortable at first, but absolutely necessary for survival. Everyone is playing, some with visible rules, others with hidden cards. Humans act out of convenience far more than out of morality. Thinking relationships are free from strategy is a dangerous mistake. This isn't about being cold, it's about being conscious. There are people who will guilt trip you for setting boundaries, not because you're wrong, but because your boundaries threaten their control. They'll smile while planting seeds of dependence. If you can't recognize it, you'll end up grateful for the chains that bind you. Power doesn't always roar. Often it whispers. And if you don't learn to hear those whispers, you'll be led without even knowing. Accepting that no one is truly innocent doesn't make you cynical. It makes you awake. It's about seeing people not as heroes or villains, but as players, each pursuing something: love, respect, survival. Everyone is making moves. So ask yourself, are you playing or are you being played? This is the threshold that defines whether you lead your life or replay a script written by others. Power begins when you choose to see, when you dare to face the raw, exposed nature of the game. Because ignorance of the rules doesn't exclude you from the game. It only puts you at a disadvantage. That's why perception becomes your greatest weapon. Those who fail to see the moves become pieces. Those who can't identify strategy end up serving someone else's. And if you're wondering how to master the game without becoming its prisoner, the answer isn't found in virtue. It's found in appearance. But that's another level of the game. Truth has little value if it doesn't look like truth. In this arena, being strong isn't enough. You have to appear strong. It doesn't matter how noble you are if the world sees you as weak. That's why Machiavelli didn't teach us to be good. He taught us to look good. Appearance is power's most elegant disguise. Those who master it lead without raising their voice. Think of the leaders you admire. Are they truly just, or do they simply radiate confidence? People don't follow goodness. They follow conviction, clarity, and presence. In times of uncertainty, the one who seems in control becomes the anchor for everyone else. The real game begins when you decide how you want to be seen. It's not lying, it's strategy. Your posture, your tone, your pace, even your silence, everything communicates. Walk into a room with your head down, and you've already lost ground. Speak as if you're asking for permission to exist, and you've already surrendered your power. Learn to fill your space. Look in the mirror before stepping out. Does your reflection command respect or reveal need? Predators don't smell fear, they see it in your body language. One glance can determine whether you're followed or forgotten. This isn't a fair game, but it's the only one there is. Think about how many times someone convinced you of something, not by what they said but how they said it. Some bosses seem wise because they speak slowly. Some manipulators disguise themselves as victims, wielding control undetected. The world is full of wolves in sheep's clothing, and if you don't choose how to be perceived, others will choose for you. This isn't about deception, it's about constructing your image with intent. Every word you speak can either bring you closer to power or push it further away. Over-explaining is giving ground. People don't follow who is good, they follow who seems unbreakable. That's why the winners in this game aren't always the most moral, they're the most strategic. Perception is the lens through which the world measures your worth. To master it is to hold a master key in a world of locked doors. It's not arrogance, it's survival. Because if you don't project power, you will project need. And in the realm of manipulation, need smells like opportunity. The one who controls the narrative controls the emotions, and the one who controls emotions holds the true power. Emotion is the horse, but perception is the rider. And once you mount that horse, you can steer the crowd without ever pulling the reins. But what you've just uncovered is only one part of the art. There's something even more formidable than appearing powerful, being unpredictable. This is what you're about to learn. True power doesn't scream. It doesn't parade itself. Real power hides in silence, in calm gestures, in the steady gaze of someone who sees more than they speak. Those who are truly in control don't rush. They wait, analyze, and move with precision, like a tiger who remains still until the prey drops its guard. Power is not about being loud, it's about being unreadable. The moment others think they have you figured out is the moment they relax, and that's when your quiet, calculated move strikes. The most dangerous strategy isn't announced, it arrives without warning. Anyone who exposes everything they think and feel gives away their advantage. Mystery isn't just attractive, it's a shield. As Machiavelli suggested, transparency isn't a moral flaw, it's a strategic weakness. The predictable can be controlled. Imagine playing chess and declaring your next 5 moves. No matter how strong your pieces, you'll lose because the opponent will adapt and counter. In real life, sharing too much, your wounds, your goals, your frustrations makes you vulnerable. Even with those closest to you, silence can be wiser than confession. Not everything deserves to be shared. Not every emotion needs an audience. Be like ice, cold on the surface, deep beneath. If you have a goal, work on it in the shadows. If you want change, don't announce it, just act. And when people finally notice, it'll be too late to stop. Surprise is a weapon more powerful than brute force. When the world believes they know who you are, any unexpected move becomes a psychological earthquake. And if you can master that, it becomes lethal. Remember, you don't need to lie, but you don't need to reveal your entire hand either. People respect the quiet more than the overly explanatory. Unpredictability is silent power, and it can be trained. The next time you feel the urge to speak your mind, pause, count to 3. Ask yourself, does saying this strengthen me or weaken me? Wisdom isn't just about speaking wisely. It's knowing when silence is the strongest move. Let others guess your next step while you prepare it. Let them speculate while you strategize. Because the most powerful strike isn't the loudest, it's the one they never saw coming. Now that you understand the value of concealment, imagine what happens when you learn to mirror manipulation. A manipulator doesn't yell, they whisper. They play the victim. They give you affection in doses, then withdraw it when you don't comply. Their greatest weapon isn't force, it's guilt. They convince you that you owe them, that your worth hinges on pleasing them. And every time you give in, they win. But there's one thing manipulators can't handle: being mirrored. When you reflect their game back to them, they falter. When you show them who they truly are, they panic. Because deep down, they know their actions cannot survive the light. They work in shadows. You bring truth. Watch how they demand understanding, but never offer it. How they expect sacrifices but never make them. How they want you to feel guilty for setting boundaries. And if you fall into that trap, you lose control. Want to shift the dynamic? Name the game. Say calmly, "Have you noticed you only value me when I do what you want?" That sentence is emotional dynamite. Don't yell, don't defend yourself. Just observe how their fragile structure collapses. When you stop fearing their disappointment, they lose the hook they use to reel you in. Guilt only controls those who feel small. Build your self-worth. When you know who you are, you don't need approval. Here's a practical exercise. The next time someone tries to guilt you, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, is this guilt coming from real responsibility, or is it just a tactic to control me? That one question can break the chains. It brings clarity, and clarity returns you to the center of your life. No longer spinning around someone else's expectations, but standing grounded in your own truth. The strategy is simple yet powerful. Don't run from guilt, face it. Question it. Return it. Say things like, "Interesting how you only miss me when I stop giving in." Say it with calm truth, not anger. That disarms them. Manipulators don't fear rage. They fear clarity. They don't want you strong. They want you confused. But once you have inner certainty, they tremble. In that moment, power shifts. You're no longer being played. You're writing the rules. And this is the turning point. Because once you stop reacting from guilt, only one emotion remains to master. The hardest, most human, and most dangerous if left unchecked. There's an unspoken law in the power game. Those who let emotion lead, lose. Emotion betrays your position. It makes you predictable. It makes you act before you think. Those who truly dominate feel, but don't react. They know that anger fuels the enemy, that fear opens the door to manipulation. Machiavelli never asked you to be cruel, only to be calm, measured, and strategic. Not cold-hearted, but clear-minded. Only with mental clarity can you see what others can't. The hidden intentions behind smiles, the traps beneath promises. Emotion is not your enemy, but it must never be your commander. Picture two generals in battle. One shouts, red-faced with fury. The other stands silent, calculating. Who do you think holds more control? Calm is an underrated superpower. The one who remains steady while others unravel becomes the master of the moment. Want to know if someone is strong? Watch them under pressure. Now look at yourself. Do you explode easily? React impulsively? If yes, then you're giving away your power without even knowing it. Because the one who moves you, controls you. Mastering emotion is a discipline. It's not about suppression, but redirection. The next time you feel like exploding, do the opposite. Say nothing. Breathe. Observe. What are they trying to provoke? What do they gain if you lose control? That pause returns power to you. In the real world, the battle is rarely about strength. It's about self-control. Each time you choose not to react, you forge a new version of yourself. One who isn't swept away, but who chooses the timing and direction of every move. That's pure dominance. Phrases like "that's just how I am" are excuses. You are not your emotions. You are the one who feels them, and who controls them, leads the world. Respect the ones who stay composed when others panic. That's not emotional coldness, it's strategic maturity. It's not insensitivity, it's intelligence. Emotion can blind you, but reason clears the path. When you stop letting feelings chain you and start using them as tools, no one can control you. You're finally in charge. And when you grasp this truth, you'll hear Machiavelli with different ears. He never glorified cruelty. He revealed clarity. Harsh, yes, but liberating. And now that you've mastered your own weight, it's time to understand the whole board. The world is not fair. It's a board moved by those who see the pieces, who understand people not as random actors, but as players and pawns. That's a truth many deny. But now, you've seen it, through every word and every strategy. Being good is not enough. You must be aware. Feeling deeply is not enough. You must master your feelings. Because those who don't understand the game end up as part of someone else's show. Machiavelli's harshest advice was not a command. It was a mirror. If you're not ready to dominate, then be prepared to be dominated. It's a choice few dare to make, because it requires facing hard truths. But it also opens a door, the door to inner freedom, to authentic power, to the ability to act without being manipulated. So I ask you now, will you keep believing the world rewards innocence, or will you learn to play? Between dominating and being dominated lies only one decision: to learn the rules of power and never again ask for permission to be free.